Hello everyone and welcome for the day one for our Selenium Advanced Training. This is the batch of December 2016. So like I say, it's day one. But again, like I said in the email that we sent, we're starting a little bit further advanced. So what does that mean? So number one, to be able to fully understand what we're doing here, you need to understand the automation basics. You need to be able to clearly understand how does the Selenium IDE work, how do we do element identification, all right, how do we install Eclipse to write and manage our programs in Java/JUnit or TestNG. They will all finally end up doing the same thing. Then we're looking at how do we take a Selenium IDE script and place that on Eclipse as a Selenium WebDriver code and be able to read and understand the basic flow of a Selenium WebDriver code with JUnit. So these basically are the prerequisites, everyone. So I'm assuming that you all have got a chance to go through them and are in a position to be able to take it forward from there. So if you go to the website itlearn.com and either look at online courses, and you would notice that under JPACT you'll find the videos for the Selenium basic training, or under upcoming events. Let me refresh this page once. If you go to our job placements and certified training out here, you will be able to identify very easily the different things that we're doing with our schedule and so on. So this, like I said, is an advanced event. So that means that a lot of information that you will see here will be already have covered in the Selenium basic level training that we did as part of a JPACT. Now we're continuing from there on to take it to the next level. So how do we do automation how to automate a manual test case using Selenium WebDriver and JUnit. So this is the core thing that we need to look at today, team. So what do you think? And let's keep it interactive, everyone. And I want you to start interacting with me in the Q&A section as part of the GoToWebinar tool itself. And tell me, what do you think will be the step one, team? What should we do at the beginning of it? That is very critical. Organizing ourselves in each and every step is very critical for being a successful automation test engineer. In fact, any IT professional for that matter. What will be our first step? Come on, team. What do you think? Then there'll be a few more steps after that. Step 2, step 3, and so on. Yes, understand the application under test, specifically the test case. That's the first thing, team. We need to understand the flow of the test case. What will come after that? So here, how to automate a manual test case. What does that mean? One test case. That is the intent. Once we do it effectively for one test case, then it's going to be easy for us to continue to do it for the other. What would be the second step? Write the manual test steps. Okay, in what doesn't matter, as a text file, as an Excel file, in JIRA or ALM, wherever you want, you should be able to write the manual test steps. Unless we are an expert at writing and knowing exactly how the test case should work, you will not be able to get into automation. What are the 3 basic thumb rules for automation testing? What are the 3 basic thumb rules that I focus on extensively? And this, out of these 68 participants who are part of this session right now, you should all be able to easily answer. Most of this participants have come from a JPACT program, and some of you are attending this as a demo session. But what are those 3 basic thumb rules? Very, very critical thing. You're right, team. It is ERA. E stands for efficiency, where we know that doing the automation is more efficient than handling it as a manual testing. Reusability, where once we do an automation, because it will take effort for us, we are able to continue to reuse them. What does A stand for? Accuracy, correct. At the end of it, we can always trust a manual user based on their skill, profile, experience, expertise, and so on. So we can say he's a good tester, she's an amazing test engineer. And that will tell us that yes, we can trust the person. But when it comes to tool, we should be able to do it very, very effectively. So we have to make sure that is efficient, because lot of effort will be put to automate a manual process. And I'm not talking about just testing, any automation. But at the same time, ROI, what does ROI stand for? These are some terms we have to be very, very prominently be aware when we are automation engineers. What does ROI stand for, team? Return on investment. What kind of investment are we talking about? We are talking about the human effort or human hours that we put in. We're talking about the resources that we have put in. We're talking about any expenses that are incurred to handle, be it tools, licenses, and so on. Okay, hardware. So with all this, a return on investment is critical. So basically, if we put X effort, our return should be X plus or X minus. It must be X plus. So we should always get more than what we invest. ROI comes over an extended period of time. Now, keep this at the back of the mind when we continue to go through automation testing. We'll see, to do a manual test case, the same process, how easy is it? But when we try and automate, then it starts to get more complex. Then what do we do, team? We write our JUnit / Selenium WebDriver code in Eclipse. Then we will do a test run to ensure our code is correct. All right. Make sure we handle that the code is free of X and Y errors. Can you all tell me what are X and Y here? X and Y errors. 2 types of errors, team, that we typically get. So I want you to help me understand what kind of an errors do we get when we are trying to execute our any code, Java, C#, PHP, any software program. Syntax errors and runtime errors. Okay. Now, how are they different? Syntax basically talks about the code being understood by the programming language. So very simple, just like grammatical errors. Okay. Now, what are runtime errors? Code grammar / syntax is fine, but when we execute, we get an error while when the program is running, and those are runtime errors. You have to be a master at fixing these issues, and this happens through experienced team. So when you get to an interview, when you talk to the users, you will notice that this is the main thing. Are you all able to see my screen? Yes? Okay, cool. Because I got a message that one of you could not. So please team, if any of you cannot hear or cannot see the screen easily, then do check at your end. Alright, cool. So this is what we're talking about as the overall plan that we're doing. I'm going to create a new folder in my documents, and I'll call this as Selenium Advanced Training December 2016, and in this I'm going to put this as our day 1 file. All these files team, though we may share it, put it on Google Drive and all that, the access will be provided directly on the website for you to be able to download, and it will be done as part of the projects. So one of the most important thing that we do team is we handle everything as a project. So we will talk about the project work first. So as part of the project work, we need to understand AUT. What is an AUT? Application under test. Your duty to continue to ask questions to yourself while these sessions are going on, and it's my duty to make sure that you have all the information that we do out there. Okay, now the application that we are using to practice and learn software test automation is anyot.com. Why anyot.com? While we have so many other applications, this will give us a good ability to test certain aspects. This specific framework that you see is not yet live. So that means that the application is still in which version? It is in a development version. So if it's in a dev version, you will need to have access to it. The link for the dev version right now that we're looking at is out here team. Please do note that even if you do any user signups or forgot password and so on, you will not be able to have the database or access complete information. So it will happen once it becomes live. This is still under the dev version. So here is the main URL that we're working on team. Now as part of this test URL, we are testing it on the development server. How does this happen in terms of dev server, test server and so on? I'll give you a brief idea so you get a decent aspect of this. Alright, so very simple, there is development activity that is going on, and that is put into a box, and that is your development box. Okay, once they complete one round of application development, they will then put it into another box, or these boxes are also called as servers, and that becomes your test server. And the testers will start testing at this point how this application seems to be working. Once they say go or no go, like a green or red signal, then it moves into which one? Your live, also called as sometimes production server, and that will come so that the users can start accessing it publicly. Now as companies go through, you will know that there are a lot more servers in between, not just 3 boxes. There could be a staging, there could be more like a holding server in between and so on. So there could be multiple servers, but this is the simplest flow. So version 1 is developed, the same version 1 is tested, and that version 1 is put here. While the testing and deployment keeps going, the developers will continue to work on version 2, and next, once the development is done, the testing starts being done on testing 2, and then again the live production will get changed to number 2. This is the typical flow team. These basic fundamental concepts is not something that I don't expect you to be aware, but very critical to have it firmly there as part of a knowledge. Now, as part of anyod.com, you will notice the many features that we are applying here. It is still development server, lot of issues, so it is not yet ready for testing also. But then why are we starting to automate it? Because it's the best time to automate. While the development is still going on, we can start working on automation. So let me quickly log out please and come to the link. So this is the main thing, index.php. And I'm putting all this information out here team, so it's easily accessible. Now, in the earlier session that we did as part of Selenium basic training, we did evaluate a few test cases. One was user sign up, and that is what we mainly focused on. And we did not really complete the entire thing on it because there's a lot to do. But what we learned very easily were those areas of automation basics, Selenium IDE, element identification using ID, name, link, text, xPath, and CSS. That is what we did. Now, to keep things simple, it is not important for us to automate a very large test case. What is critical for us is to automate a small component and make it functional or workable. So the test case I want to create is, let's say, a simple login with incorrect information. Let us say I don't have a registered information. With karthikosiredi@gmail.com, I could log in and get something. Now I put some incorrect username in the login field. I enter some dummy password and then click on login. What must happen? I should get an alert or a message saying, hey, you know what, please verify your username or password, and there seems to be something wrong with it. And I want to verify that this message is coming. This is my simple test case. How do we write the test case? So this is details about AUT. Now out here I'll create a new sheet and I'll say here is where I will start writing my test case or cases. Everyone with me team so far? We're going to make some quick progress going forward. So please understand the basic fundamentals that we've started with so far. Okay? All right, great. So the first thing is a test case ID. It is an identification that is unique to one test case. Then we'll call a test case description. What is it that this test case does? All right. Then what will a test case have team as components? It will have something called as a test step, which tells us how it is going to be executed. And then what else should be there? We want to make sure that there is any test data. If required, we put it. Do note, we are first writing what, an automation test case or a manual test case? Which is the one we are writing, everyone? We are always starting with a manual test case. Unless you know manually how a process should work, automation is not going to be easy. Okay, so please make sure manually you understand the application. So I need test step, test data, any kind of a validation that we are trying to do out here. Now, how should we name this test case? I can say TC001. Why TC001 and not TC1? When I write TC1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and when I write 10, the order of the test case changes when I try and sort it alphabetically. So TC001 is a decent one. Now I want to be more specific. I may say this is anyod, so I'll say anyod underscore TC001. More descriptive. But under anyod there could be multiple modules. What are modules? You take a given application. Team, you all understanding, right? I'm talking a lot of basic concepts right now, not yet automation. In the next 5 minutes, we'll be getting to automation very quickly after this. So if you look at an overall application as a huge box or a huge project, they can be broken down into a series of modules. And this basically will tell us that each module has certain functionality. Like let's say user registration, sign up and login is one. Okay. Then let's say maintenance of test cases is other. admin is other. Let's say if there's an e-commerce platform into it is other. Let us say there is a support thing into it, there is another. If there's a CRM tool, that's another module. So breaking down the entire application under test piece by piece into something that is more logically can be put together, those becomes our modules. Now, so in an application you could have multiple modules. All right. Oops, look at my drawing when I don't have the pen. Okay, so out here, let me continue to write the notes. One application under test can have X number of modules, and each module can have X number of test cases, and X is a variable, could be one or more, and each test case can be built on X number of test steps. This is the primary floating, that is very critical. Now we are saying any odd underscore URL say, or user registration and sign up, that is where we're focusing, and this is TC001. And now as a description I'll write something which is very vividly clear, whoever sees this document, that this is what we're doing. What am I doing? User registration, okay, test for invalid sign up. All right, now do we have the right information or not? The test case itself should tell us, hey, you know what, we've got everything that we want, or something seems to be still lacking. And you will notice that this can continue to get expanded into something more concrete as web services testing or API testing, where when we click on login, what action is happening on a different program or interface or the backend code. We're not getting to that level. We are basically testing the user interface and the functionality of an application. That is what Selenium does primarily. Okay, UI testing, functional testing is its focus area. So test step. So test step is, again, it could be a unique identification or the step details. So I want one TS number for test step and TS description for what it is. TS number is something very simple. I'll say step number 1, then a description. So each test case can have multiple what do we say, steps, right? So I'll just assume that there are a few steps like this. Copy the same test case ID, the same description, and put it out here. I'm just gonna reduce the width of these columns. So this is 1. I'll just say this equals this plus 1. Simple formula in an Excel sheet, and I'm able to get numbers. That's done. All right. Okay. Now talk about test step description. Here is what we'll start writing. First, what do we do? Open browser. So for this, what kind of a test data do we require? Manual test case should be so vividly clear that we have, when we pass the sheet to anyone, that specific participant or test engineer is able to perform the same exact steps, so that when we get into verification of errors and all that, this becomes easy. Okay. Any odd test cases. Now open browser. What do we require? Open which browser team? So I have to say, is it Chrome? Is it Firefox? Is it an IE? Which one are we testing on? Then we navigate to AUT URL, the specific URL that we're testing. Then what is the next step? We enter email ID, enter password, then we click on login, we confirm error message, okay, then we log out, and finally we may also close the browser. So this is a total test scenario that should be able to work by its own, and for every one of these steps, very critical that we have a clear defined test data. Navigate to AUT URL. Do we have that? Of course we do. So we will note that information as well. Enter email ID, something at kk@neot1211.com. Some invalid test data. Enter password, again some invalid information that we're doing. click on login. How do we click on login? Clicking on a specific button or element or link, does it require any test data? No, it does not. So here I just say it's blank. Confirm error message. What is the message I want to confirm? That this message is coming. Okay, then we log out. How do we do that? We just have to click on logout link. Close browser again. We know which browser we open. This is fine. Now for each step, you can do a step level validation. Like once you open browser, ensure browser opens. Then when we go to the URL, ensure website is open. Okay, ensure you are able to see and enter values. So this kind of a verification is always there, team, and it is default. Okay, this is one test case by itself. Now the same test case I can copy. So this validation team I'm ignoring because it looks very basic as a human to understand. So let's assume that okay, that is something that we will definitely check. If we see something going wrong in the website, we will notice and we will report it. So I copy this test case 1 and I'll call this as step 2, and here I will make one small change. How? Now see how easily once test for invalid sign in now becomes valid sign up. Not sign up. This is sign in team. Sorry. This is sign in, not sign up. Because sign in is like login. Let's be more clear. We cannot make any errors in what we do, team. Very critical. So till here is, come on, invalid login, and this is test for valid login. Now to do a valid login, how do we test it? So team, today's session, while it is planned for 1 hour, I may extend it by 10-15 minutes because there'll be we have to focus a lot on WebDriver, but you can never escape this process that we're doing on the right start. Okay, just putting a different color for each of them. It's very easy. So what steps should change here for taking test case 1 and making it as test case 2? And this, let's freeze this. So just go to home and say sort and filter, this filter, and view, freeze panes, freeze top row. So that way, even if I scroll down, the first row is as is. The only thing, open browser, enter email, enter password, confirm, login, confirm user has logged in. That is the basic thing. Then we log out and close browser. Alright, now you tell me, team, any difference in test case 1 and 2? When you sign in with incorrect information, can you log out actually? Right? So this cannot exist. This is the wrong step. You cannot click on log out when this happens. But let's be aware of it. Let us not take an action on it yet. We wrote a wrong test case. Now let's understand one thing, team. Manually, do you understand what we did? Yes or no? Okay, cool. Now let's do automation. How do we do it? To be able to do automation, let's talk about a simple steps, team. First, open Eclipse. Then what do we do, team? Create a new workspace or use existing, right? Third, create a new project. What kind of a project? A Java project, or use an existing one. What do we do next, team? Link all the related, come on, what files? Star files. What files do we have to link to the project or to our build path? When I say link, we have to add to our build. Build is nothing but building a project. JAR files. What are these JAR files, team? Java archived resources. These basically say that, hey, if I want to work with JUnit, I have this. If I want to work with Selenium WebDriver, I have this JAR file, and so on. So for every component that does not come default with Java, you need to make sure that this happens. 5. What do? Write our basic JUnit code for the test case. Then 6, run and ensure no errors. Okay, so the same few steps that we did, I'm kind of expanding. Now let's go about doing it. Any questions that we do while while I go about this? So first I'm going to launch Eclipse. It'll either choose the latest ones and so on in terms of your workspace, or it'll ask you to choose the workspace. Now, like I said at the beginning of the session, by default, I'm assuming you've installed Eclipse, you've installed Java runtime environment, and all the jar files. Okay, and you're able to write and manage some of these programs. Okay, so Eclipse should have started. Where is it? Okay, there you go. And as part of this, I already have a project called NYOT Project 1. Under that, there is a subfolder called source, and in this, we created a new one called NYOT Project 1. Now, I will create a new one here. It's still a Java project, but it will be a package under it. So I'll just say a package, and I will call this as NYOT Project 2. Okay, same kind of a version. Under the source folder, we are creating this. Now, here I can right click, and what do we add, team? In the project, what's the next step? And team, I will explain about each step validation. Is it necessary or not? So I did put it there, but it is not, I've not shown you. I'll tell you how easy will it be with automation. So class is very important. So what test case is this? NYOT underscore user registration underscore TC001. Please ensure that you're perfectly sure as to what test case ID. These simple errors, you should not let it happen. Now our project is created. Do note, team, I've written NYOT as lowercase. I'll continue to use it that way. We can change it out here also. Case should not matter as of now in this case. Now what do we do, team? We have the package NYOT project 2. Under that we have the class. What is the next step? Main method is missing. Why is the main method missing? Java programs need to have, right? Why is the main method missing? Because it is a JUnit code that we're going to write. Alright. If it's JUnit code, what are the 3 annotations, team? So out here, I'm also assuming you know what are JUnit annotations. It is the basic. Which are the ones? Before, test, after. We are not trying to overcomplicate. Baby steps, team. Do not try and be a race driver when you start learning your car. You just need to keep going at 10-20 miles per hour speed limit till you get very comfortable. Okay, then you can slowly start increasing the speed. So I need an at before, I need an at test, I need an at after. Is it mandatory always to have an at before, at test, and at after, team? It is not. Only at test is mandatory. I can always ignore at before and at after, and we will see that as well. Did I mention this earlier? No. How do you know it then? Now you know it. Okay. Now what comes next? I didn't even talk about what is the public, what is the class so far. Why? We will continue to learn those as we go along. What comes next? Now I'm stuck. I know at after I have to write something like public, my starter code, and then open brackets, then close curl brackets. This is what we write, right? What will come next? There should be some word here, no? How do you know, team? How do you know the exact syntax or grammar for that statement? Now you are at the beginning of your learning capability, so always go back and look at this, how to master any programming language. Learn to read the code, make small changes to the code, make bigger changes to the code, write your own code from zero. But while you're writing your own code, always take assistance when stuck. From where? You take it from Google search, or you take it from your old programs and so on. Always go back and return. Now I may know that it is void, but what if you're not aware? Go to the previous version of the test case that we did. Look at before. What is there? Void. Copy that and put it. Okay. Please do not be shy at looking at an old code and putting it. What happens here? I want to do a print statement. How do I do? System.out out.println, and I'll say before the test starts, actual, okay, test case execution, I'll say, starts, we will do something. And similarly, at after also, we will have something very similar. At after, I will say my end code now. See, my end code. Now what is in between? It is the main test, and that main test will be my test case. Now, do we need to write this always starting with my starter code? Do we need to write my test case and my end code? Team, can you all start writing in the chat, because sometimes I'm not seeing messages and I'm worried if you're interacting. Team, your time, your focus, always ensure that you are completely with me on this, okay? No, why? It is user defined. User can write whatever they want. But instead of at before, can I write at my before? Is it valid? No. Why? These are predefined words or keywords or the syntax and grammar. Okay. So if I have to call hello in English, I have to say H-E-L-L-O. I can't say hola. I cannot. Why? Because I'm speaking English. So it has to be very clear. Now I'm speaking which language? JUnit. So at before, at test, so this is before the test actual test case execution here, and then after test case execution. Till here we have done it earlier also. Correct everyone? It's not the first time that we're doing. Are we ready to execute now? What do I do? Let me save it. Am I ready to execute at least this test? So far, is there anything called Selenium WebDriver in it? Take the D out of print statement. Absolutely right. Actual test case execution is not actual the test case execution. Actual test case execution start, just let's say actual test case execution. Oops. All right, and let's put it like this. After the test case execution completes. Okay, is this correct? I'm not sure if there's an apostrophe here. All right, now are we ready to execute? Why? No, save it. What will come up? You should be able to see runtime errors. Why is it not showing up here as a window in Eclipse? You can always go to your window and look at appearance. Oops, show view, sorry. And make sure you look at problems. And you should be able to see the 3 errors where it is mentioned here. But how can we know it very easily, team? Always look at the red crosses and make sure they're fixed. How do we fix it? Use the hint that the Eclipse as a platform gives you. Eclipse IDE is very powerful, very user friendly, so it will help you. So take your mouse over and say import org.junit, correct? What does it say? Now my code wants to use JUnit before class and we can use it. Same thing for a test, import test org.junit. Then for after, import after org.junit. Perfect. Now is my code ready for execution? What problems did I fix? Syntax errors. Okay, so I just took my mouse over and I'm able to work. Now let's do a run and see if it works. Excellent. 3 steps printed, all green. This is good. See, write small codes, run it. Make sure everything is working. Fix syntax errors. Then we will fix run errors. Now, what is my test case? Let's go back here. All right, look, we're doing so much now. So, I'll just copy this information and put it where this is my main test. So I'll put it here. Why are there errors, team? Because each of the statements are comments. How can I say it's a comment? Just put 2 forward slashes at the beginning of each line. What is a comment? A note or a code that should not get executed, or user comments on something, or change history of what we changed in the code and so on. This is my main browser. How do I open a browser using Selenium Selenium WebDriver? I have to say driver dot find element, correct? Something like this. Remember, all of you? Why is it not showing me immediately as soon as I write driver? Because the basic is, unless we define an object or a variable and put some value into it, we cannot start using it. Okay, it is like going to a shop and saying that, you know what, I have a Rolex watch. No, if you don't have one, you have to go first, purchase, select the watch, purchase, confirm it, check it out, take that, and then you can start wearing. Till then you're just viewing it. It's not ready for use yet. So where do we define it? Now logically, let's do it in add before. If I define it at before, let's say I say web driver. Okay, is it uppercase or lowercase? So many questions. And the beauty is, I don't have to remember each and every syntax and grammar. Why? I can go to this specific logic and look at what needs to be done. Okay, web driver equals driver. Is this correct definition? Let's take mouse over. Oh yes, import web driver. Now can I say driver dot? Still it does not recognize. Why, team? Oh, but driver has to be initialized. This is defining. Then unless I say driver equals new, which driver we want to run it on Chrome. So I'll say Chrome driver and end quotes. Now I know it's Chrome driver. Now what did we do? Initialize the variable, correct? Initialize the variable, right everyone? No, it's not a variable, it's an object. And we did also discuss some of the basic concepts about variables and objects in the previous session, right? So basic concepts of objects and variables earlier. Is that something that we have mastered? No, we have not, but we understood the basic concept of it. All right, so now we are initializing the object. Now we are good. Still syntax error. See how I'm going neatly one by one writing the code. Great. So driver should now be working here. Driver dot. Why do I still have an issue? Right? Frustrating. Very frustrating. And this is the best time to give up. Best time, team. Forget it. I hate Selenium. I hate WebDriver. I hate Java. I hate JUnit. Just give up, get disappointed, feel frustrated. Alright, be frustrated, but do not feel disappointed or disheartened. Remember this thing, and in fact, this should be something as a golden rule. Okay, and remember this very well. When you have an issue or a challenge, okay, or your program is not working, what do? Say Eureka, laugh, smile, be absolutely glad and happy, cause you will solve that and become much better. Alright, please remember this. This is where people give up, and this is not where you should give up. This is the starting. Now, how do I still do this open browser? All this, motivational speech sounds okay. Driver dot is not working. What is the solution? Very simple. Look at the old code now. Let's look at the old code. See, shamelessly go here and see. What did I do? Okay, I defined WebDriver is my driver. My driver equals new Chrome driver. Oh, I'm supposed to say my driver and not WebDriver, is it? No, why? You can write whatever you want. So that should not be the issue. See what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to debug my code and fix issues. Understood what I'm doing, team? Then what? Go back again. System.set property. You know what? This also I'll ignore. Maybe I have to do the driver.manage.timeouts. Let me try that. I'm going to write driver.manage. Perfect. I don't remember the next step. What do? Go back. Driver.manage.timeouts.implicitly wait. And I'm assuming you all know exactly what it does. Timeouts dot implicitly wait, and two arguments. First one I think is number of seconds. Next one I don't remember now. Can go back. Time unit dot seconds and time unit dot seconds. Perfect. Now is it working? The code may not be running, but it's at least defect free or syntax free. Okay, but the same thing if I time free. Okay, but the same thing if I could hear my own audio for a second. Team, any questions? All good from an audio standpoint for everyone? Voice is breaking up. All right, now it's better. Give me 1 minute, team, while I take 15 seconds break. Can you please make sure any questions that you have, you put it there? I'm back. How is my audio now, team? All okay? So team, I know we're already at 9 a.m. IST and I'm coming you live from India right now, which is 7:30 p.m. We scheduled only for 1 hour for this demo day one session for Selenium Advanced, but I'll need about 10-15 minutes at least to get a workable code, team. Then we'll continue from tomorrow. The reason I'm going so slow is so that we understand the basic steps. See, I took at least 1 hour to get to this level. If you're writing, you should take at least half an hour. Go step by step systematically. Okay, so let me repeat what I was saying for the last 15-20 seconds. So out here, what did I do? Open the browser. Will get open where? Here. As soon as I finish this, here is where I'm opening the browser. Then what am I doing here? Manage timeout. What is timeout? I explained this earlier. It is the maximum number of seconds the Selenium WebDriver code should work before throwing an error saying I give up. There is some run error. That is where it will give. Correct. Now step 2 is navigate to URL. How do we do it? Driver dot. Again it's not coming. Why? Give up. No. Go back. Motivation speech. Remember? When you have an issue or a challenge, your program is not working, great. This is your option. This is your opportunity to learn something. Again, go back. WebDriver, my driver. Maybe the system.set property, but this serves a different purpose. Okay, I'll copy this. What is it? Also, we'll look at. Let me at least first copy this and put it out here. Now it should work. Driver dot. Oh, still an issue, man. See, to solve one issue, how many things? Why? What did I say? What did I say in the previous session? Anyone in the audience could figure out? Honestly, team, I know the answer for this. But I'm just trying to say how you should think and how you should not be disappointed. What is the cause? Team, there are 65 participants in this session. And if I'm not getting one correct answer, because this I showed even in Selenium basic training, it is disappointing for me, but I won't give up. Okay, great opportunity for me as a trainer to try and be more effective and repeat some of these things. Alright, so cool. Now I'm starting to get some answers, and you're right. We have defined WebDriver where? Under this public class, not in the add before this method. Why? If I define something in this block, I can only use it here. It is born in that step and it dies after the last curly brackets. That is the reason. That is the main reason. So this WebDriver definition should go out from here and into the under the public class. So any global objects or variables we will start using out here. Okay. Now open browser. Then we said driver equals new Chrome driver. Now can I say driver dot? What is the next step? Do I close? Do I do find element? What do I do? I want to navigate to AUT URL. Perfect. Is this something called navigate? Oh, great. Navigate. Yes. Okay. Now what should I give? The URL. Where is the URL, team? Where is the URL? It's in a test case. Correct? So let me again shamelessly copy this. I hope my session is recording. Yes. And put that URL where? Out here. Okay. Again an issue. Why? Oh right, I have to put it in quotes. Unless I don't put it in double quotes, it will not understand. Now so far I've created all this team. Again, what I put to navigate? Remove argument to match navigate. Something is not right. Go back. See, what did we do here? Driver.get. Oh man, now I remember. Driver.get is the method, but navigate also seems fine. Now, a lot of times you'll notice, team, that for the same operation, there are a couple of or more methods to do that, and that is only because of the fact that some operations do some certain things differently. And this, as you go along, please learn, not right away. You're not trying to become a race car driver on day one. Now, should we continue to write? But then write? No, let's test this code now. Let's see if it is working so far. What should you do? It should open Chrome and it should go to my URL team. There you go. Perfect. See, we saw challenges, we had issues, we could have given up, be frustrated and criticize. Why am I even spending my time? I hate Karthik as a trainer. IT Elan does not do a good job in support. Or say, great, this is an opportunity to become better. This single differentiator will make you a successful person in life. Alright, now this is done. Cool. Now what's next step? How do I enter email address? I say driver dot type. Correct? Oh, why is it again giving red? As soon as I write, right, it should pick it up. On the driver, these are the different things I can do. Why is there no type? Because of the fundamental rule of automation testing that should answer two things. What are these? Those are the two W's. What do you want to do? And where do you want to do the same? That is primarily important. For example, I want to do what? Get. What? A URL. Where should I do it? On the browser. Can I refer to my browser? Driver. Now what do I want to do? I want to enter email address. Where should I enter email address? I want to enter email address. Yeah, email address. Where? Oh, here in this field. So I have to first find where this field is in the web page and then enter it. How do I do that? I should go right here, driver dot first find that element. Then I can perform the action or method on that. But using what methodology? By dot, I have ID, link text, name, partial text, tag name, xPath, all of this, correct? Now, how do I know which one? Very simple, go here, right click, inspect, or if you're using Firebug on Firefox, use inspect element. Should not really matter too much. Do you see ID anywhere? Yes, login underscore username. Now I copy this and I say that by dot what ID is login underscore username dot type. Type is not working, team. Why? Come on. Oh, come on. Dot clear click equals find element. Where is T IJK element more PQ? Only two string. Wait. Submit. Which method, team? Send keys. How do you know? Now you know because I'm telling it. Tomorrow you may not forget it. You may, but then you'll remember again. Or you'll go back to the old code and look. What do we want to send? I want to say KK at any or something we wrote now 11.com, something like this. This is my step. Now let's run it again. It should go and should type that. Perfect. Did it do it, team? Great job. Amazing. This is good. Now how do I type password? Copy. Paste the same thing here. By.id login underscore password. Correct? And send keys, whatever we gave. Something we gave, no, $123 $Y or something. And rerun. Now, you don't have to always keep doing it after every step, the run thing. So write 5-6 steps, run it. Write 5-6 steps, perfect. Now what do I want to do? Click this button. See, but did you notice I did some mistake here, team? I did not follow process. Always, please maintain to follow a standard process. Okay. Process is inspect element, verify using what Selenium IDE, okay, get the ID xPath element ID info, whatever we need, verify that using Selenium IDE, then take it to WebDriver. Here I didn't do anything. I just thought maybe it's password. I honestly expected this to fail, team. But what if I read PSWD? Because a lot of times even this is there now. And now I run this code. Will it work? Because earlier time when I ran, the password also got typed. Now, it's not doing anything. It's taking some time. Is it still running? Yes. See, it's red. Okay, let it run. How long will it run? 10 seconds. Why 10 seconds? That's the timeout I gave. What should I do then? make the timeout 20-30 seconds, correct? No, I gave incorrect identification team. You should not guess. Guesswork is bad for automation. Right click, inspect. Look at ID is login underscore password. See, I was just blind lucky that that worked earlier because I wanted to show you. Now what kind of a run error did we get, team? This is a runtime error. When we come tomorrow, we'll go in deep and try and understand each and every, not each and every, but some of these errors and how do we fix them. So team, that's it for today. Tomorrow we'll come, we'll look into completing this test case and writing variables. But did you understand how I took from zero again without using Selenium IDE, and we started working with Eclipse, Selenium WebDriver, JUnit, element identification, and so on. That was exactly what I wanted to do today, and I'm happy I did it. Now, any questions, please? For those of you who are attending this as a demo session for the advanced training, please note that we have hardly any time to follow up with you and see if you want to join or not. Take your decisions quickly, consult to the sales team, and please come. Okay. Driver.setProperty. What is that question? It's not driver.setProperty, system.setProperty. Why? Because I installed my Chrome driver here. How did we do it? We did it in the earlier sessions for Selenium basic training. How do I get JUnit? I've shown that also in the earlier sessions of JUnit team. But again, you can just do a Google and search for the JUnit jar file. So this time we didn't have to use IDE to verify element. You're right, Shagor, my mistake. I shouldn't have done that. I should have actually used IDE on the side and do it, but I had to open the application in Firefox and do it. It was already slow on running against the clock. That is the reason I did not do it. Right. What else? What are the questions? How can I review this session? I joined lately. Not joined lately, guys. Please ensure your English is correct. Always in communication as well. I joined late. Yes. So recorded. I will share it with my team. They will encode it, put it on YouTube, and put the link back on the website. Where in the website will you find it? Go to itlearn.com. Here you will notice under upcoming events is this JPACT, as part of which we're doing all these things. You will find it out here, team. Okay. Or under online courses, there is Selenium basic level training, and or if you scroll down and go to Selenium training line, in that you'll see a new link. Or simplest and best way, team, is to go to youtube.com and subscribe for our channel, youtube.com/qtpelearn. That's how you should be able to do it. Okay. 1 second. Let me answer and put this here. Please subscribe there. So it's easy. Is this a CQ into the JPACT advanced class? What is SEQUE? Please, can you help me answer that? Thank you. I'm sorry. Somehow grammatically I'm not able to get the meaning of it, but I learned something new today. An uninterrupted transition from one piece of music or film scene to another. Is that what you meant, Terry? Is it like sequence, follow-up? Yes, it is. Can you make the process of uploading the video a little bit quicker? Nope, I cannot, I will not. Like I said, once this gets downloaded, I have to convert it on my system, then upload it into a shared folder. My team has to then download it from there. Then they have to do some encoding on that video. And finally, they have to upload it on YouTube and then put it on the website. So lot of steps, please. We cannot hurry up this process. It is a minimum 5 to 6 hours end to end. So yes, kindly do be patient. The fastest way you will know as soon as the video is up, just go to youtube.com/qtpelearn. That's a channel. Scroll down somewhere, you'll see subscription. We have some good number of subscribers to our channel, team, about 34,000, and that's a very hard feel good factor for what we do. And we also have close to about 7 million views, team. 6.4 million views so far in the YouTube channel. So do subscribe. All this demo, at least as soon as we finish it, you'll get access to it. So team, looks like that's about the end of Q&A as well for today. Let's meet, same link, same time tomorrow. Join for the session. We won't keep sending the reminders. Hopefully I'll see you back tomorrow then. Take care everyone. Bye now. Have a good rest of your day or night. Bye all.